Hello, everyone. Welcome to one of my rare streams now. So this is Basic Atlas, episode 1. I plan to do about 3 of these to help people out, and I'll actually store these episodes and put them on YouTube for you guys. As usual, I love my streams because I can interact with you guys, and I can answer your questions live. And if you are watching this stream after the fact, make sure you follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheRedDelilah, linked below in the video description. So, I am going to do a slightly longer intro because we are live streaming, and I want to make sure as people come in, I don't lose them and things like that. So, a couple of things. First, you should see a Nightbot posting a link to the forums under guides. I do have some beginner-friendly guides there. I have beginner-friendly, I have part 2, I have a guide on glory, and then I have some posters and things that you guys can share with your team's online chat that answer every basic question I've gotten so far. I do have a line group with the clone line account I have. We're at about 490 people we've been working on for the past few days. So I am just hoping that I can either help you guys specifically or give you some information, things on how you can help others. So the reason I am specifically live streaming is because it was requested of me, but also because I've been hearing some very, not necessarily incorrect advice, but some poor advice being given to some platinum players. And I really wanted to dive in deep into my version of this, of Atlas advice, why I feel this way, and try to really start at the foundation of Atlas so it doesn't seem so overwhelming. Atlas is a lovely thing, and I really think that a lot of people could enjoy it if you really just learn how to do it. So hi everyone, Jack, Duchess, Lady Frid, Miss Falcon, Sharp Eye, Coach, everyone, it is so great to see you. I did stop live streaming due to some issues and some cruel things that people were saying. Not to give people who say cruel things power, but it just happened to line up with some times in my life where I needed to take a step back. So I was in a couple of car accidents. I'm doing fine now and everything, but it was just a kind of a time in my life where I don't need this stress, so I'm back. This stream will be available in video, both in my videos here on Twitch, and I will post it to YouTube later as well, as long as I remember. So first things first, making sure that you understand the very basics of Atlas is one of the most important things. So what you see on the screen right now is my Atlas, the beginner-friendly guide. And so in this beginner-friendly guide, I want to walk you through what's here and why it's useful for people who haven't played Atlas before, or people who have no idea what's going on. The only thing that is necessary as a prerequisite to this guide is the basic understanding of how the main game works. So if you know how to fly your dragons, you know how to feed dragons, maybe you know how to equip your Atlas or your event riders already, things like that. Those, I do have to have that basic level of knowledge, hopefully. So at the top, I link to my part 2 guide, and I link toward WD Geeks, of course, and then to Gox's Hold On To Your Hat, Dorothy, which is a much more intense guide. So, overview. There's a lot going on in Atlas. It just is a lot. And if you are so out of your depth and you're really confused, think of Atlas like a giant board game. And you may go, Red, why do you think of Atlas like a giant board game? Well, that is a lovely question. So if we take a look at what Atlas looks like, here we are in main game here. Here we are in main game. You can see that this looks like a giant map. And if you've ever played a game like Risk before, or you're slightly familiar with what Risk is, it's basically a world domination type map. So there are different territories. The more you have, the more you can get in bonuses, but the more you have, the harder it is to hold on to with your resources. So Atlas is basically just a giant map. And for those of you that may be a little afraid, you're like, holy crap, there's no way I can play with diamond teams or sapphire teams. I'm just in platinum, or we're in gold now. That's okay. I'm going to walk you guys through the basics on how you can make this work for you, and how Atlas can really work even if you are a gold team or a platinum team with Atlas. So that way you're not afraid. One of the biggest rumors I've heard going around around with some of the platinum players is, we have to pay like 100 million gold or whatever a week just to have a castle so we won't get destroyed. No! if you're smart, if you listen to some basic advice I'm going to give you today, you are going to be totally fine. You can stand an Atlas on your own. Just be clever, plan ahead, and remember that this is just like a board game. So conquer the world, stay away from the places that big teams want to go, and they're not going to give a shit, right? Right. So let's go back to this basic guide. And we need to talk about how to find Atlas. So the very first thing here, it says, find this icon on your screen, located just before your resources. So the Atlas icon looks like an open scroll with a dagger shoved through the center of it. And if we look at the actual game here, you can see that that is located right below my resources, above my head up there, with, again, the scroll with the dagger pointed through. Now, if you don't see that icon, that either means that Atlas is down, or your team does not have Atlas. If you're not sure which it is, ask your leaders first. If you've had Atlas on your team at any point, on that specific team with that specific name, Atlas will most likely not be taken away from you. The only way that you can lose Atlas is if your team is cheating like a crazy person and they remove your whole team. Otherwise, as long as you stay on that team, you'll have Atlas. But Red, what if I want to move to a team, like a different team? Do I have to lead Atlas to do that? No. You go to team A that has Atlas, you go to team B that has Atlas, you will keep Atlas. You will just change teams. Now, if you go to team A that has Atlas and team B that doesn't have Atlas, you as a player will lose Atlas. If you go from team A that does not have Atlas to team B that does have Atlas, you will get Atlas likely in a couple of hours as soon as you join that team. It may take a little bit. Now, if your Atlas button is gone and you are sure that your team still has Atlas, take a look on the forums first. Typically on the forums, you'll see people post like, hey, Atlas is down. And then people go, sorry, we're doing maintenance. Cool. Okay, so the Atlas button is right up there. So we're going to click that and it takes us into Atlas. Atlas itself is like a completely separate version of the game compared to main game. So you can see we're on a different screen. There's different stuff going on. So like you would say, oh, but that's my roster button. It's not actually a roster button anymore. So everything is just different. To get back to main game, which is how you do matchmaking attacks, how you do war, how you see your roster, things like that, you're going to click the button at the very top right-hand side of your screen. It looks like a castle with an arrow pointing to the right. That is your back button to get to main game. So if I click that, it's right above my resources section. You'll notice again, different resources. Just click that button that looks like a castle with the arrow and it takes me right back to the main game again. So in the main game again, this is the only place that you can collect your resources, collect your tokens from egg token missions. You can do war, you can change your roster, things like that. So you have to be in main game to do anything. You see my cat? You have to be in main game to do anything like that. So basics covered so far. How do you get Atlas? Join a team that has it. How do you lose Atlas? Join a team that does not have Atlas, or have a bunch of cheaters on your team, are the two options. That's about it. Tofu's like coming to hang out with us. So anyway, hi Hellraptor, Mac, Puppy, it's nice to see you. So if you guys haven't met him, Tofu has a collar on right now. This is Tofu. He's purring. He's super happy to see you guys. He's being super friendly. Oh goodness. So Atlas. Got it? Basics, we good? Okay. So let's head back to the guide really quick. So that paragraph just covers how to get in and out, covers how to get Atlas and double check if you have it or if you don't have it, things like that. Now let's talk about this Atlas menu. So like I said, when you enter Atlas, things are just a little bit different. The Atlas menu has the things that pertain entirely to, you guessed it, Atlas. So, Red, where do we find Atlas menu and why do we need to use it? What are the things on Atlas menu and how does that help me as a beginner? Great question. So back in main game here, of course, we're going to go back into Atlas by clicking the Atlas button that was right below my resources. But you go, Red, I don't see that menu anywhere. What do I do? The button that has the exclamation point above my head here on the right, that is in a diamond, I'm going to click that and it expands and pulls out my Atlas menu. So some of the things that are really helpful in Atlas menu are the quests. So if I click that icon that says quest right there with the open book, it's going to take me to quests that are very specific to Atlas. Now, if you remember your first couple of weeks in War Dragons, you'll remember that you would get rubies and different things like that for building your first archer or for getting to level 10 and different things such as that. Atlas quests are a similar idea. They're to teach you the very basics and the fundamentals of Atlas while giving you some fantastic rewards. So you can see I have completed all my quests. Go figure. So if I take a look at the very first quest here, it says complete or collect gold. So gold is the main currency in Atlas. We'll go over all that. So it gives you a task to do, how you can do that task, what it looks like, and then it tells you the rewards you have. So you can see all the way that way. You'll see it says like 100,000 gold. And then right behind my head, where it says complete, will be your claim button. So quests are really great way to walk you through Atlas. Now, if at any point you get stuck on a quest and you're trying to complete what it wants you to do, but it's not letting you, the same thing goes for any tutorials, anything like this that happens in Atlas. Either post on the forums on our Atlas saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I've tried to do, and this is what I want to do. Can somebody help me? Thanks for subscribing, kicking back. Oh, you guys are so sweet. So if you are ever confused, just ask for help. So if you are in my chat group, my Atlas Basics chat group, be lovely. I will also possibly be opening up a version 2, a room 2 of mine, because we are at 500 people, which means the room is full. But there are so many people out there to help you. If you want my specific help, note that it just may take a little bit, but send me a message on the forums, on my Twitter, if you have access to my public line chat, things like that, and I'd be happy to help you. But if you want help on the forums, ask, be kind, be straight to the point, explain what you've already tried to do, and I'm sure we can help you out. So, these are the Atlas quests. They'll walk you through various things. We will talk more specifically about some of the more advanced Atlas quests, I believe either at the end of this episode or at episode 2, but for now, let's move on. One of the most important things you want to be able to do in Atlas is find your team. So, what do I mean by find your team? Well, first you need to understand how you move in Atlas. So, if you would click read Red's team chat. Shut up, puppies. So, you can see down here, I have these lovely little icons with, you see a dragon head that looks kind of like a Poffet, you see one that says home, you see one that kind of looks like a Nekura, things like that. Those are my Primarchs. Red, what's a Primarch? A Primarch is your game piece. So I mentioned how Atlas is kind of like playing a game of Risk. Your Primarch is your game piece. So if I zoom in really close here, you will see one of my team castles. Well, Red, how do I know this is your team castle? Well, your Primarch is always green. So if we take a look here, you can see my Primarch looks like a little game piece. Like it has a little platform, looks like a little figurine on top. This is what we do to move around in Atlas and to do most of the basic functions in Atlas. When you first begin, you have to summon a Primarch for the very first time. That is one of the quests you have. The tutorial should walk you through that function, that action. But if it doesn't, feel free to ask for help. So to start, it'll have you research your very first Primarch slot. What's a Primarch slot? Over there to my right, your left, you will see that I have 2 little dragon profiles and squares. When you start Atlas, it'll be locked, just like my 3rd square that says 30.7M. You will have all of yours will be locked. Your very, very first slot will cost you 10,000 gold, which the game should provide you in the tutorial. Now, if you don't have that gold and you were somehow had to skip the tutorial, something like that, just have one of your teammates send you 10,000 gold. Boom, you can do that. Once you do that, it'll have in the box, summon Primarch. In order to summon your Primarch, you just click the box and it'll come up with a section looking like this. So if we take a look all the way over there where it says Fighter, it is farthest on the left under Balanced. Fighter is the very, very first Primarch that you can get. So you'll tap on the Fighter, and you'll press research and then summon. I believe research again will cost you 10,000 gold, and then you press summon. Once you do that, it'll take about 10 minutes, I believe, and then you'll have your Primarch. You will be in a completely random place and things like that. Now, if you try to go to summon Primarch and it says, please set home first, we have to set a home first. To set a home, you're going to find any neutral land. Red, you just said something I have no idea what you mean. What is neutral land? Glad you asked. Let's take a look at the guide. So, this talks about Primarchs, which is what we've gone over so far. It talks about where you go to summon a Primarch, which is that button I told you to click, and things like that. So, something we need to do is we need to find our team. And you see this little icon right here where it says neutral zone with the hands clasping? That is a neutral zone. A neutral zone means it is completely safe no matter what. So if you need to set your home, find a neutral zone. I also have under my Atlas Beginners and Posters, whoops, I have to scroll up here. See if I can remember what section I put it under. It's under land. And if we take a look at this poster right here, it's called land levels. Every land has, in every land type, there's a level that goes along with it. The level impacts what caps on infrastructure exist, and neutral zones are safe. So you can see those icons on the poster to talk about where start with the green hands clasping, which is neutral zone. Level 2 is 2 chevrons, level 3 is 3 chevrons, level 4 is 3 chevrons and a star, and level 5 is a giant ass star. So in neutral zone, you cannot be attacked, but at the same time, you also can't own it. That is why it's a different color. Neutral zone, as the name implies, is safe. It is neutral. Nobody can do anything with it. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just there. So if your game says, set a home in order to summon Primark, find any neutral zone you want. It does not matter where. How you can identify neutral zone is by zooming out in the map. So like I did, I pinched my fingers. When you get to a certain point, those icons are going to disappear. You want to zoom out just enough so you see those icons, but it's not bogged down by the rest of the stuff in Atlas. So you can kind of trail around, find a neutral zone that looks kind of neat. So we'll find this right over here. This is Chenola Land. It's pretty neat. You're going to zoom in, find one of the little castles in Chenola Land. It might take a moment for it to load. Atlas is pretty slow sometimes. Now you see there are a bunch of red Primarchs there. Oh my god, red is bad. No, remember neutral zone is not good or bad for anyone. You cannot be attacked here. You are completely safe. So select any castle in neutral zone and you'll come up with this menu. This menu has move, set home, and details. Now, when you are first starting, if you are trying to summon your first Primarch, you will not have the move icon because you don't have a game piece to play with. All you have to do is press set home. Once you set the home, say moving your home, and now you have that home button across. Now the lovely thing about when you set your home, if I move all the way across on a different part of the screen, if I click that little button again, it'll take me straight home. So setting your home somewhere that you want to find it later in the game is a really great way to find it. Once you have set a home, you can click the Primark menu, which is on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Click. And then you will be able to summon your fighter. Again, it'll take 10 minutes. Once it finishes summoning, it will be at home. You can see my team is obviously watching the stream, but if you pay attention to my team chat, they're being just absolutely terrible. So once you set a home, your Primarch will end up going there, and you are great. So now, so far we've covered the following. We started in main game, we figured out how you have access to Atlas, how you lose access to Atlas, and how can you switch teams, or if you can switch teams. If we click the lovely scroll with the dagger stabbing it, that takes us to Atlas, which is an entirely different section of game. All the menus are different. So that means if you want to do something about Atlas or in Atlas, you just have to go to Atlas to do it. If you don't have access to Atlas, that means you cannot do anything regarding Atlas. Now, again, to get back to the main screen, we're going to click that castle with the right arrow right above my head at the top right hand side of my screen. And again, it takes us back to main game. Now in main game, again, this is when you deal with your roster. This is when you deal with your roster. This is where you do war. You can feed your dragons, collect your resources, collect your egg token missions, upgrade buildings, all that whatnot. So this is where main game is. It does not change just because you have Atlas. Forsyth, if you're going to tease me with cake, you might as well give me cake. Alright, so let's head back into Atlas. We have covered the different zones, and if you ever need a reminder, just look for green is good. So if you see any green symbol like this in Atlas, that is typically a very friendly place to be. So find any green neutral zone, zoom in, remember you can tap it, set as your home, it'll mark your home, then you can go to your Primark menu, which is on your bottom left hand side of the screen. Click any, or you'll have to research a slot. So you can see one of my research slots has not been done because I'm poor. So you click that lock. If you don't have gold because you had to skip your tutorial for any reason, just get some gold from your teammates. It's totally okay. Open up that Primark slot. You click the button that says research or summon Primark. When you do that, it'll take you to your Primark tech tree. You will select your fighter because your fighter is the only one that you can select. Once you press fighter, you will press summon, and it will summon a Primarch at home. So that is what we've covered so far. Super basic. This is what we're doing. Okay, You with me? Now, once you've summoned your Primarch, you might go, okay, I've summoned my Primarch. Now what do I do? There are a couple options. I would highly recommend that you find your team first. If you are a team leader, I suggest that you bookmark a castle. So right now we are in Chena land, something. If I am any player on a team, I can click that castle, press details. Once this castle loads, do you see that green star on the very upper left-hand side of your screen next to where it says view troops in your barracks? Don't worry about that. If you click this star, it'll say bookmarking this castle will add it to your team's shared bookmark list in the button drawer menu in Atlas. So this will add it to your entire team's bookmark. So if you were the first one in Atlas, or you were your team leader or officer and you want to have all of your people go into the same castle so you can kind of just collect yourselves, bookmark this castle. So let's do that right now. We bookmark this castle by pressing a green button. Bookmark. So this is Land 3. If I click my Atlas menu, we're going to see if we can find this. So we have 6 options in here. We have quests, castles, ledger, settings, missions, and alliance. So if we're looking for a specific castle, we click the castle menu. Click. So I might be mad at me for opening this on stream, but I don't care. So first, the first thing comes up are any castles that your team may own. We'll get more into how you can own a castle, but when you first start on a very, very brand new team to Atlas, you don't own any castles. I'm going to sneeze so bad in a minute. Pardon me. So you won't own any teams, or you won't own any castles in Atlas if your team is brand new. If you do join a team that has castles, you can see them all right here. If you click any of those little diamond buttons, it'll take you right there. But let's look at our bookmarks. Now, we want to look for Land. Do you see that right there? I'm going to put at the very top of the screen where it says Land. Oops. Fat fingers. Land 3. It's at the bottom of my thing here. If I click that little diamond with the arrow in it, that'll take me to Land. So let's move far, far away. I'm just going to scroll randomly. I'm going to open bookmarks, Land. I'm going to press that button. Ta-da! It takes me to Land. Now, if I, for any reason, bookmark something on accident, you just do the same thing you did to bookmark. Tap the castle, details, and unclick that star once again so it becomes hollow inside, just like my heart, and remove bookmark. That is one way that you can help find your team and help get them together. That is something I really recommend. The other way that you can help find your team is by using Atlas coordinates. If you look at the very upper left-hand side of my screen, you will see a couple of different things. You'll see my Primark, my game piece in the circle. To the very right of that, you will see X and Y coordinates. So right now we are at X, -77.5, and Y, -175.0. So if you want to find your teammates that way or point out something neat, all you have to do is say where you are, X and Y, and your team technically could scroll around to find you. Unfortunately, right now, Atlas does not have a feature where you can tap and type in coordinates or anything like that. So that is why I really recommend understanding how to bookmark castles, and that'll really help your team find something that you need. So we've now summoned our Primarch. We have found our team. Red, what is next? Well, we need some motherfucking troops. So our Primarch is our game piece, and you'll clearly notice that our game piece is a dragon. So I'm going to go back to my game piece. If you scroll around the map, you can see that my game piece on the bottom right hand side and my home, things like this will always float around. I can always click them. Now, you see this game piece right above my head now? I'm going to click this and it's going to transport me very, very, very quickly back to my game piece, back to my Primarch. I'm back here. Ta-da! For the sake of this, I'm going to show you how to move briefly. Atlas is kind of like a highway system. All of the green icons, the neutral zones, are like highways. They're public highways. Anyone can go on them. You can get on them at any point. You can move anywhere you want along neutral zones, along these green. Now, the gray ones are like private drives. You need to have specific access to those in order to move there. So if I zoom in quickly, red is bad. Green is good. That is why neutral zone is green and red is bad. If you try to go to one of these castles that has a red circle, it has something called a blockade. if I try to move my Primark there, which I'm really terrified to do so, it should warn me, but it'll tell me who it's owned by. Don't move there. And you'll go, but I want glory, blah, 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 I want to do... No, just don't do it. You'll start to piss off some teams that are OD in Atlas because no new teams own land right now. It's only older, stronger teams right now. Stay away from the red. And it does actually hinder the progress and hinder the play of people on that castle. If I had an enemy Primarch that was sitting on my castle, it would actually not allow me to do many of the functions I need to do for day-to-day work in Atlas. So that is one of the reasons you want to stay away from red. Also, you're gonna die. So don't do that. But you can travel anywhere you want to neutral. So I'm going to move all the way across the map for funsies. I am going to find a neutral symbol by zooming in a little bit here. There we go. Let's find this castle. So now we're at Colity Land? Yeah, I know, kick him back. And if you are someone that already has Atlas, send the leader really kind message being like, hey, just a reminder, if there's a red circle, tell your team not to go there. Red is bad. Colty Land, is that what you say, Sai? She's talking to us in team chat. I'm going to click here, and I can move anywhere I want. Now, if you see this, a pop-up will come. Are you sure you want to move? Insert Primarch name here. You'll arrive in roughly, insert time needed here, and you'll click yes. That is just a default setting that checks that you want to fly your Primarch. So you can see this lovely green line going across the map. This is the path that my Primarch is taking. If you see green, that's you. If you see red, like you see down below here, that is an enemy Primarch. The other colors you'll see are yellow, which are poachers, which we'll talk about shortly, or you'll see blue, which is an ally. You're gonna die. Tell them red. Well, that's true. So while my Primarch is traveling here, let's go to something that people typically need, which is a poster I really recommend you add to your team chat. So we are in beginner basic posters for line chats under resources and guides on the forums under Atlas. First things first, let's see, where is it down here? This poster is like my favorite thing on the planet. How to not piss off a team. Ta-da! Keep off their castle. When you put your Primarch in a castle, it disables all actions that could be done on that castle, including the bank and their ability to hit the gold mines and poachers in that region. Stay away from red rings. Red rings are a sign that your team is not welcome at that owned castle. Thus, stay off of it and tell your whole team to never go to a castle with a red ring. Red ring is bad. But red, what if I want to go to a castle? I don't care. Red is bad. We will talk more in episode 2 about how you can ask a team to make that red ring a green ring. Basically an invitation to use their private drive at their home for a lovely party. But in the meantime, red is bad. I really recommend that all of you send this poster to your team chats online. This is how to not piss a team off. Now, a lot of you will have that player who's just a dick. He likes to be a dick. He's a jerk in most things. He just likes to piss people off because he thinks it's funny. Tell him to cut it the fuck out. Atlas is such a political place because you are no longer just with platinum teams. And there's a big difference between a diamond team hitting you in Atlas and a diamond team hitting you in main game. If a level 500 comes and hits your level 50 base, nobody cares. They can't really take resources from you. They're not getting XP from you. They don't care. But in Atlas, if your level 50 pisses off a level 500 D1 player, well, they may come, find a castle as soon as you get one, and take it away from you. Atlas is so political. It is very important that you nip all those very bad behaviors in the butt. Trust me, you don't want cats. And last is get glory, no man's land. And we will talk more about glory in a little bit. So let's head back to the game. My Primarch should have landed. So again, if I'm not sure where my Primarch is, I move around. I see his little face in the green or gold circle. Click it. There I am. Woo! All right, so we've talked about a lot. I'm going to do another basic review. I do know that a lot of you are my normal stream people, so this is not new to you because you have seen me do Atlas before, but I do want to do this video for people who may be new to Atlas or anything like that. So Sorry if this is repeat, but if it is, hopefully you learned something new, or it helps you explain things to your alt teams or to your teams that are new to Atlas for the first time. So let's go back to main game. Remember, in main game, this is the only place that you can do main game things. So you can edit your roster, you can collect your token missions once you finish them, you can go to main game events, you can send mails. You cannot access mails in Atlas. You can do your war attacks. Oh, look at that war, by the way. Look at those defense counters. The one in green, the one in red. Just letting you know that main game is the only place where you can do your war hits. Sorry. So you have to be in main game to do all things like this. To get to Atlas, you do need to have the Atlas button, which again is above my head, right above the war icon, and right below your resources. It looks like a scroll that is being stabbed with a dagger. If you do not see that, you may not have Atlas. If your team should have Atlas and you have not changed teams, Atlas might be down, so check the forums. Remember, for changing teams, you can go from a team that does not have Atlas to a team that does have Atlas. You as a person will get Atlas. You can go from a team that does have Atlas to another team that does have Atlas, and you will keep Atlas. But if you go from a team that does have Atlas to a team that does not have Atlas, you as a player will lose Atlas. The only way that a team can lose Atlas is if you have a bunch of cheaters and PG physically removes your team from Atlas. So if you're in Platinum now, and you're worried about dropping to gold, it's okay. Your team will always retain Atlas as long as you aren't a bunch of fucking cheaters. So let's click the Atlas button, get back into Atlas. I'm really funny today. Okay. All right, so once we're in Atlas, things that we need to do, the very first thing you're going to have to do after you've completed the tutorial, maybe you had to skip it, is summon your Primarch. First, you need to set a home. To set a home, you're going to look for anything that is a neutral zone. Remember, in Atlas, green is good. We like green. So find a land that has the green symbol, the handshake symbol, which is the neutral zone, the safe zone. So click or go in here, select any castle you want, press it until the Atlas circle menu comes up, press set home. It'll say moving your home or setting your home. Now you have a home. Once you have a home, you'll be able to summon your first Primarch. Your Primarch is like your game piece in Atlas, and it's what's going to allow you to do all the functions that we're about to dive into. Without your Primarch summoned or live in Atlas, you can't do anything in Atlas other than look at all the pretty things. To actually do any functions in Atlas, you need your Primarch. To get my Primarch out, I'm going to click the Primarch and Troop menu, which is the bottom right, or bottom left, sorry. The Primarch and Troop menu is where your dragon roster usually is in main game. It has a dragon on it and a helmet on it for your Primarch and Troops. I'm going to click that icon and bring up my Primarch menu here. But Red, why is it called the Primarch and Troop menu? Because there's one tab that's called Primarchs and one tab that's called Troops. So it's the Primarch and Troop menu. When you start, you will see that I have 2 dragon profiles and a locked icon here in my Primarch menu. You will start this with all 3 locked. In order to unlock your first one, it'll cost you 10,000 gold, which you should get through your tutorial. If you do not get it through your tutorial, you had to skip it or there's some glitch, or you just panic, just ask your teammates, hey, can somebody send me 10,000 gold? In Atlas, 10,000 gold is really not a lot at all. Ask a teammate, say, hey, there's a glitch in my game. I need 10,000 gold. Ask for it. Great. Just 10,000. They'll send it to you. You'll be able to unlock that first Primarch slot. You'll see my last Primarch slot costs 30.7 million gold. They do get more expensive as you go on, but the first 2 are quite affordable. You'll undo that. And then in that box, after you unlock it, it will say, summon Primarch. So you click it so you can summon Primarch. And when you do that, it'll pull up your Primarch tech tree. The only Primarch available will be your fighter. The rest will be grayed and locked, like you can see some of mine are. So click your fighter and then press the button that says summon. And it'll summon your Primarch to your home. Ta-da! Summoning your fighter will take about 10 minutes, but that's about it. And then you can start to do functions and do things in Atlas. All right, so we've also talked about finding your team. You can bookmark a castle, any castle you want. So if you are average, thank you. So unnecessary, guys, but thank you so much. Side note, if you do subscribe to my Twitch channel, I'm sorry I haven't been streaming very much. Like, we talked about that earlier in the start of the stream. But all of the money that I get, which is a very small amount from subscribers, I actually put to host the wdgeeks.info site. I do pay to host that, and other things like that with Mech and Nye and Forsyth. So thank you, and I just want to let you guys know that I actually don't keep any of that. I try to do everything I can to put it back into the community. So just so you know. So, if you want to find your team, there are two ways you can do it. You can use the Atlas coordinates, which are on the top left-hand side of your screen. You'll see there's X and Y coordinates. You can tell your team where those things are, or you can do what I think is easier and bookmark. So, if you are like, Red, I'm really confused and my team's never going to figure out how to find bookmarks. I got you, Blue Bear. Don't worry. All right, so if I come back here, we're going to go back to guides. No, I don't want you to send me stuff. I think it's on... Which guide is it on? There we are. So this is under beginner and basic posters for line chats. So this first GIF right here, this is on wdgeeks.info. This tells you and walks you through how to bookmark a castle. Once you bookmark a castle, you can use this second GIF to show your team how to find that bookmarked castle. You can literally download these from wdgeeks.info or from the forums under guides and resources /Atlas, beginner basic posters for line chats. Just send that to your team online. And if your team's not online and you have Atlas, I highly recommend you do, because sending images is such an easy way to teach, learn, and do things, so I can show you things. So feel free to steal these gifts from online. They are in my basic chat. I am trying to see if I can host an online photo album for you guys to pull from, but in the meantime, all of those things are on the forums, which you can access in-game. You're welcome. And these will also be on wdgeeks.info. Most of it already is. So yeah, that's how you bookmark a castle. Teach your team how to use the castle menu, which is right over here. So if I click the Atlas menu, press castles, bookmark, and I can jump to any of my bookmarks that I want. And it takes me immediately there, no matter what. So, oh, Edward, you are so sweet. Yeah, I love you guys. You guys are so much fun. And I'm remembering why I love streaming so much. It's because of you guys. You're so sweet. So, we've done that. We've found our team. Now what? What is the next basic step you need to do in Atlas? The next basic step you need to do in Atlas is build troops. So we talked about how your Primark is your game piece here. So I'm going to go back to my Primark. Zoom in. Your Primark is your game piece. They look like little dragons. There's a lot of different versions of them, and they just look like dragons on little platforms. They're super cute. How I think about this when I first started to play Atlas is your Primark is like your general in battle. So if you think about like all those fantasy like war scenarios, and you have like that one dragon that would be fighting, and then you'd have all like the troops on the ground, they're doing things, right? Okay. In Atlas, your Primark will carry all those troops in a battle so then they can fight. Without your Primark, your troops can't get there because they lost all the humans and they have no idea what's going on. So they all load up on your dragon, they jump on its back or in a little basket it carries if you want to go that way, and they carry them into battle. So your Primarks are how you can move troops around to fight for you. Your Primark itself doesn't fight, kind of, but you fight. So we need troops so we can fight other people. Well, Red, how do we make troops? Guess what? We're going to go in the Primark and troop menu, which again is the bottom left-hand side of your screen. So let's click that. We've talked about the Primark menu. Let's click troops. So you can see I have some troops building, but how? What do we do? There are two things that you need to do in order to build troops. You need hats and you need gold. Now, I call them hats. In game, I think they're technically called farmers or peasants, something like that. But I call them hats because, well, they look like hats. So I call them hats. Your hats regenerate at a very fixed time. You can see right now, I actually have Elite account. So surprise Rulith, I bought Elite again. And all of you coming to Atlas get Atlas Elite for a week. Red, what's the difference between Atlas Elite and Main Game Elite? Main Game Elite is for main game. Atlas Elite is for Atlas. You buy it in the store. Guess where the store is? on the button that says store in the upper left-hand side of your screen. So we go in here. So hats regenerate at a fixed rate. For elite, they regenerate at 7,200 hats per hour. And normal, I believe they regenerate at, is it 1,200 hats per hour? Something like that. So I need hats and I need gold. So I already told you that hats regenerate. There's nothing you have to do. They just load on their own until you get to 8,000. Then they stop. 1440. Thank you, Mac. They load to 8,000. They stop. Boom, done. Okay, we have one of the two resources we need to build troops. The other resource we need is gold. Now, my young Padawans, you are ready to meet the Invader Base. Invader Base is one of the most popular, talked about things in Atlas, especially for people that don't have Atlas. The Invader Base is your perfect XP base. It is literally the same exact level as you. It gives max XP with you as you grow. You never have to bookmark it. It is always there for you, which is fantastic. So I know we have questions in chat, but let me go over this real quick. There are two ways that you can get gold. The first one I'm going to show you is the gold mine, because it's a gold mine. So we're going to get gold there. I know you guys have questions in chat, so I'm letting you know I'm not ignoring you, but I want to finish this segment. So in order to do and attack that gold mine, my Primarch has to be in the same territory as the gold mine I want to do. So you can see there is a border around the territory I'm in. So if I try to attack this gold mine over here, you'll see the attack button is actually like grayed out. And if I press it, it says you must be in the same region to attack a poacher or a mine. Meaning I can only attack the gold mine where my Primarch is. So if I want to attack that gold mine up here, I have to move to one of those castles in the region. So again, I click a castle, select move, my Primarch does his little flying dance over there. Boom. And now I can attack. Whoop. If it loads. Are you done traveling now? Thank you. Primarch, are you done? Can you be done traveling? A lot of times you'll see like these little laggy glitches. And if that happens, you exit out Atlas, go back into Atlas, and it'll go well. So we'll go in here. See if we can, there we go. Let's attack. So we go into this, we fly, woohoo! We go in, and now we see my perfect Invader Base. I'm level 337 in main game, and so my Invader Base is level 337. Now, what you may notice about the Invader Base is it has no premium towers, no mage towers, and no farms or mills. So it is purely, it uses storms, cannons, archers, trebuchets, ballistas, and lightning towers on occasion. Invader always changes slightly, but it's usually projectile based. It never has lightning towers grouped together, things like that. So in order to get gold, I have to beat this. To get the full gold from this run, I have to get 100% on Invader, but to get max XP, I just need 70%. So again, to get the max gold out of this Invader run, I need to get 100%. To get max XP, I just need 70%. So I know I need food, but I'm buying food for 12 rupees. So we're going to go into the red tree in here. I'm going to invite my teammates, see if one of you fuckers wants to come with me. Hi, Forsyth. All right. So this is just very basic XP base. You can see that it takes me barely 2 shots to take down any of these towers. When it's boosted, it's a single shot. So this is very much just your perfect XP base. Foresight. This is just your perfect XP base. And so we're just going through, we're hanging out. The questions that I've seen pop up in chat, I know Mech's answering them. I'm going to answer them verbally after we go through this function because this is the most basic part. And what you guys are asking is like next level steppy thing. So we're going through this. To remind you, this is called Invader Base. You can only access this now in Atlas. And this is found in gold mines as one of the 2 places, which is what we're currently attacking, or poachers. And I'll show you poachers right after this. I'm not going to hit a poacher because, well, it'll look the same as this. It's an Invader Base. Special. Woohoo! You guys want to see some neat GFX for... So this is Redrian. He has adaptive flak resist. So if I press this, you'll get some lovely flashes as he changes which resist he has. It takes about 1.5 seconds to change resist. And it also gives me a little bit of rage. Should I have been using rage? So that's adaptive flak resist. Isn't that neat? This is Redrian. I like Redrian. Thank you, Average. You're so sweet. All right, so the end of this run. comes up, and this is normally where we see food, XP, things like that. So we're going to see the same things here. So we see I've got 5,000 medals. For every run you do on Invader, you always get 5,000. You'll see how much gold I received, which is 657,000, and then taxed. Red, what's taxed gold? If your team owns a castle and they want to take some of your gold, your leaders can tax you and take some of your gold. If you are a leader, stop taking bitches' gold. Stop it. Taxes only punish the most active. If you want a different way to do gold, check the forums. I have so many different ways that I can teach you how to do gold other than taxing. And then, of course, I get my max XP. So let's return home and let's use some fighter, or let's use some troops and such. So go back to my troops and Primark menu. Troops. I'm going to finish this one here. Yes, we have to use clocks. No, I don't really have any. All right. So now I have this open slot. I'm going to press open, and immediately what pops up is it wants to use every amount of gold I have and every hat I use without asking me to spend what I don't have. So immediately it tells me I have 8,000 hats. Great, that's a maximum, and it wants to use 800,000 gold. So you can see at the bottom of this box, you can see all the resources I have. It has hats on the far left, golds, a little symbol is called bullhorns. I'll get to that in a moment, and diamond. Diamonds are the Atlas version of rubies. Okay, so up here, you'll see there's a slider. I could move the slider around if I wanted to train more, train less, or I can tap up here. I can type in exactly what I want either, and it'll preload. If you have the correct number of items, so I do have 8,000 hats and I do have 800,000 gold, all you have to do is press train, and it tells me it's going to take technically 9 hours and 24 minutes. Now, you'll see your team's tower buff. My team owns castles. Castles give you neat boosts. If you own a really good castle, it gives you more neat boosts. So my team troop training time is reduced, and I also have elite, which reduces the time. So instead of 9 hours and 24 minutes, as soon as I press train, it goes, and this is going to go into the third slot. You can say it's 5 hours. Ta-da! Because I get half off troop training from elite. Cool. So you need hats and gold. You can see that my hats are now at 0, and it has used all of my gold. So the questions that I was seeing in chat are, how did I have more than 800 troops training at a time? There's 2 ways you can do that. So when we train troops, you can see I did my slider. You can use some extra resources, or there is revive. So should we go kill something? Nah, let's go kill something. Can I? Foresight, can I go kill something for the sake of Atlas chat? Foresight! Tell me if I can. She's in charge of me. But revive in your troops and menus. If you lose troops, you can revive a certain percentage of them. And reviving troops costs less gold and less hats to revive more troops. So you'll see I have 0 out of 91.4k troops to revive, meaning I have no troops to revive. But as soon as I kill something, we're going to put troops there. So let's see. Sai says, will there be puppies? Yes. If I say yes, I'll bring my puppies in later. Can I go kill something, Sai, so I can revive some troops? Sai! This is my team chat, by the way. We're crazy people. Thanks, Sai. Alright, so what I'm going to do actually is summon a different Primarch, so you can see that real quick. I'm going to send my Primarch home. If you ever want to get a new Primarch out or summon a different one, we go here. So I'm going home. I am going to go to my troop menu here, and I'm going to press view tech tree. I'm going to summon my Sieger. It say, do you want to summon your Sieger to replace your Trapper? Yes. And now you'll see it takes an hour. I'm going to apply multiple and rush that because I'm bored. And let's go kill something. Now, do you remember the very basic lesson about red? Red is bad. Avoid red. So this includes all these red circles. These are bad places to go. You will piss off a team if you go here. Now me, I don't really care because a lot of the teams in Atlas I can piss off and it doesn't really matter, but I don't want to because I'm a nice person. But there is a place you can go to kill people without them getting pissed at you. It is called No Man's Land. If we zoom out, you can see these red territories in here. Red is bad, red. Yes. So red is the PvP zone. So I mentioned the green handshakes are neutral. Nobody can own those. But the red lands are called No Man's Land. And as you can guess from the name, nobody can own those either. But PvP, so player versus player, attacks are enabled. You can attack people and take their stuff and kill their stuff here. Dear Plat Team, stop landing on bases. Stay safe. Yes. Avoid red. Red circles are bad. So if we go back to our lovely guide here. So basics. How to not piss a team off. Stay away from red rings. Do it. Send this to your team. This is under guides and resources / atlas in the forums. All right, so let's go to a no man's land. Let's see if we can find somebody to kill. So if we go to no man's land, I'm just going to take a peek around, see if there's anyone here. They have to load. Again, Atlas is really slow, so but there's nobody on that spot. That either means it wasn't open yet, or Atlas is just being a slow piece of shit. There we go. Oh, look. Let's go here. Move. Oh, they're not that small. Okay. So you can see at the top there, it tells me how much time it's going to take. I can spend rubies still to speed up and make my Primarch go faster. And then we can see that green line. You can see my Primarch flying all across the screen. Now, you need troops to kill their troops. Your dragon can't just attack them on their own. You have to use troops to kill troops. So if you see right next to my Primarch face, I'm now using Sieger, which has that lovely green Primarch face up there. If next to that Primarch face, you see that helmet. And next to the helmet on the top left-hand side of my screen, you see 20.5 thousand, which is just a handful of troops that I have on my Sieger to kill. So you need troops to kill troops. If you just have one troop on your Primarch, you're not going to kill anything. You need troops on your Primarch. You need thousands and thousands and thousands of troops. I am honestly one of the lowest troop counts on my team. I think I'm about 90,000 today. My team is typically around 150 to 350,000 troops. So if you're going around and you're afraid because you don't have a lot of troops, build more troops. It's not that complicated. With Atlas Elite, you can build 800 troops every single hour if you're willing to spend a few clocks. All right, cool. All right, so we're going to arrive here in 15 seconds. Then I'm going to attack someone. Okay, and I'm going to show you my next little trick to attack. And again, we're doing this so I can show you how to revive troops, which I'm not going to lose for a minute because this is my Sieger. See fat ass filling in. My Sieger's name is Frank. I actually clicked that mini castle. I'm going to click details. Instead of actually clicking on one of those Primarchs, I'm actually going through castle to find details. This is because we all know War Dragons has glitches. But so it's not telling me how much glory I'm going to get from this person, but if I click their actual Primarch, it would, which is stupid. 100% glory? Is it always 100% glory in neutral lands? Or no man's land? Is that true? Probably. Alright, so I'm going to go in. I'm going to be a bitch. I'm going to attack you. I'm going to invite my teammates. And we're going to attack. Did I just get lucky? Oh, it broke? Oh boy. How exciting. I don't mind that. Oh, this poor person is trying to defend. Oh, honey, you're not going to stop me. So when you're attacking, here's a little basic thing for you. Just like war, you need to do as awesome as possible right away. The more dragons you use and the less percentage you get, the worse your ratio is, meaning the more troops you lose and the less your opponent loses. You want to kill their base with one dragon or one assist, 100%. Which is great. Oh, you poor babies, Rocco. That's unfortunate. Start going in here, killing all the things. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Just tapping away. This is Redrian, my Vanguard, by the way. I loves him. He's a sweetie. You can see him really not paying attention. Flashy. Alright, so at the end of this battle, you're going to see the normal stuff. So XP gained, things like that. But now you're going to see glory and you're going to see troops. So I don't think I have an Atlas Rider. Is that null on there? Alright. Oh, he moved. Oh, no, it didn't. Yay! Okay, so we can see that I got XP, obviously. At the top, you can see that G with the ribbon in it, 743. That is how much glory I earned. You can see troops destroyed. I just killed 3,286 of his troops, and I lost 495 myself. That is a great ratio. So remember, I lost 495 troops. So let's go home. I'm going to leave no man's land unless you want to be attacked. Go back to neutral or go back home. One of the two. So I'm going to move. And let's look at my troops menu. Now look at that revive section. So if you see under revive, where it used to be 0 out of 91.4 thousand, I now have 330. Not 1,000, just 330. So revive means you can take a portion of your troops and you can build them, and they are cheaper to revive that way. So let's go over. You need troops In order to get troops, you go to your Primark and troop menu, click troops. You need hats, which regenerate at a fixed rate that is listed at per hour. If you have elite, it regenerates at 7,200 per hour. If you do not have elite, it regenerates at 1,440 hats per hour. You also need gold to build troops. You can get gold from hitting gold mines, ta-da, or poachers. Now, when I first played this game, I had no idea why they are called poachers. But look at this bitch. That is a fucking ship that is stealing, that has a dragon chained down. Those motherfucking poachers are taking dragons. They are dragon poachers. They are terrible people. Now, gold mine gave me gold. Poachers also give me gold, the Invader Base, the XP, but they also give me crafting shards, which is at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. You see that little blue shard. It's an ice shard, and it gives me gold as well. Ta-da! Okay, questions. Ask away. As you guys post questions that your team, you, or anyone that you may know have questions about for the basic functions of Atlas, I'm going to run through day to day, what to do when you first get Atlas. I'm confused as hell. Red, dear God, please help me. Main game is where you have to do main game things. This is where you do war. This is where you level your dragons. This is where you collect food. This is where you do your resources, things like that. You must be in main game to do your more normal main game things. To get to Atlas, you select the Atlas icon, which is located above war, below resources. It has a scroll with a dagger stabbing it. If you do not have that icon, it's one of two things. You don't have Atlas. Atlas is down. The ways you get Atlas are by joining a team that has Atlas. To lose Atlas, you leave that team and go to a team that does not have Atlas. Or your team are a bunch of cheating pricks and PG takes Atlas away from you. I'm going to say that again for those of you who may be tempted sometimes. If you cheat, Atlas not only punishes you, they punish your whole team. They remove Atlas permanently from that team. And if it's just you cheating and there's not a bunch of you, just you, they'll roll back your entire team's progress because you cheated. So keep that in mind. So to get to Atlas, we select the icon and we get to Atlas. So Mech is saying, mines give an XP bonus, poachers give crafting shards instead. So something to remember, what Mech said is something that pops up when I select a mine. The bottom of the mine, you will see I have 632.2k gold, 25 times loot, and the XP, which says 31.9%. Rad, what does that mean? The gold is how much gold I'll get. The loot is because there's a multiplier. Every attack that you do in a gold mine or a poacher, any invader attack, starts at a certain multiplier. And as you hit it, you're getting less and less and less and less and less until you hit your base foundation. The XP with the percent is because my team has bonuses. Because my team has castles, we've built up our infrastructure, which is in episode 2. We've built up our infrastructure, which gives us a bonus. And one of those bonuses is gold mines. So gold mines give me more XP. And then later on, poachers, I'll end up getting more shards per hit because I own infrastructure again, which is episode 2. Rocco says, my question, please stream more. I will be streaming most likely tomorrow morning for Atlas Basics episode 2. How do you know where more poacher members are? Are you talking about where you can find more poachers to hit? Is that what you're asking? So every territory, if that is what you're asking, every territory has poachers. And you can see they're represented by that little orange line going everywhere. No matter where you go, there's a poacher there. And you can see, if we look at this territory we're in, we have 2 different poachers. We have a red poacher and we have a green poacher. Woohoo! And so right away, Kicking Back asked, what does the different color poachers mean? That is just the poachers. And there's a reason why they're color-coded, because you may want to tell your team to hit one instead of another. I'm going to select a poacher. Instead of pressing attack this time, I'm going to press details. Details, players with successful attacks. So like I said, poachers are fucking dragon poachers. They are stealing dragons to go sell them on the black market. They're terrible people. You should kill poachers because they're terrible, terrible people. Now, poachers take a certain number of hits to die. If you kill a majority of the poacher, your whole team or the people on that, or the people on your team who hit that poacher get a bonus. So we can see players with successful attacks. We have Wings of Pegasus and the White Wolf, and there are 9 poacher attacks remaining on this poacher. So basically think of a ship stealing a dragon. There were a total of 11 bitches on that ship, and they killed 2 of them. There's 9 more bitches on the ship to kill. And there is a reward you get. So if I click I next to reward, if it works today. Does this menu not work? I'll be really pissed. This looks like really old. Well, if you click that, you get bonus shards, basically, sent to you, which is really neat. So the reason why there's different color poachers is you may tell your team, hey, guys, in the red poacher in neutral land, wherever we are, oh, Jesus. Do you see the name? Rizawezia? I'm going to call it Rizawezia. Guys, if you kill the red poacher in Rizawezia, we'll get a bonus. Somebody go kill it. Somebody go kill it. And so you can tell your team to do that. That's the only reason why they're different colors. I get pop-up saying we didn't kill enough poachers to get the bonus. What does that mean? That's a really good question. So just like how I was moving, you saw that dotted line, the green dotted line to say where I was moving. If you take a look at the poachers have an orange one. If the poachers finish their orange line, they escape. They stole the dragon and they are selling that dragon to the black market, and you just let them kill a dragon. You terrible, terrible, terrible person. So if you get that pop-up that says you didn't kill enough poachers to get a bonus, your poacher has escaped. That means your poacher ran out of time. Which you can see, it says escapes in the upper left-hand corner. Escapes in 22 hours, 28 minutes is when your poacher escapes that dragon. If you don't kill it in time, you'll just get a pop-up saying that the poacher escaped. So we get gold from poachers and mines. Again, we use gold and hat to build troops. And then you can also use gold for a lot of stuff for your team as soon as you have land. But these are the basics of that. Of course, the Atlas menu is here. Quests give you a lot of really lovely, wonderful rewards. You can see all those rewards in here. And you'll see there's this reward that has all these lovely dragon gears here. You'll get to claim a free full set of, I believe it's common dragon gear of any element you want. So it's lovely. Go over poacher. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, so we are in neutral zone and we saw it took 11 hits to defeat. If we go, let's go to one of Roulette's bigger castles. So we're going to go to a level 3. So this is 2 levels higher. And let's see how many hits this poacher takes. Click. Details. So you'll see that this poacher has had quite a few hits. Look at that. And there's still 9 remaining. And this is a level 3. So it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 total hits on a level 3 zone to kill a poacher. And if we go to, let's say, a level 4. See how I use the castle menu just to jump around? It's really, really convenient. And a level 4, we go to poachers. We can see there are 29. So that is absolutely fucking crazy. So as you go up in land levels, the poachers increase difficulty. Red, how do we tell what level land is? I am glad you asked. That is such a great question, Red, in my head. All right, so I am under my posters here. I'm going to click land. Land levels. You can see these symbols. So green is level 1 land, which is neutral zone. Level 2, level 3, 4, 5. So as the zones level up, they poachers are harder to kill, get rewards. Stuff is nice. Mech is talking about that now. So yeah, this is land level. If you are not a diamond team, never, ever go near a level 5 land. Ever. I don't care if, oh, but we're really active. Don't care. If you're not a diamond team, do not go to a level 5 land. If you are not a diamond team, dear God, stay away from a level 4 land. If you are a sapphire team, it is okay to consider level 3, but know that it might be difficult to hold on to because diamond teams still like level 3 land. If you are in platinum, level 2 only. And when you pick a level 2 land, stay away from the high levels. We will talk a lot more about taking a castle, what the castle can do, what do you do in a castle, how do you manage it. That is all in episode 2, which is managing your land. So, this is just Atlas Lesson 1. I hope you remember how to summon your Primark, how to build troops, how to get gold, your Atlas menu, the fact that it exists, and things like that. Before we end this, I'm just going to walk you through basically the end or the last bit of your Atlas menu. Just so you know what this is, please feel free to click around on your Atlas menu. There's no harm. You can do nothing wrong here. But I'm going to show you the basics. I'm not going to show you everything because there's some privacy. So this is the ledger. The ledger shows you everything that you have and everything that your team has. So you can see under my assets, I have 97,000 troops. I'm getting there, Sai. Don't judge me. You can see that I have some in reserve. I have some on my Sieger, some on my Taunter, and the rest are in reserve. Talk about, really should talk about that. I'll talk about that. In my battles, you can see who I've killed or who has attacked me, how many troops they've lost, how many troops I lost, they lost, glory, where it was, team. Contributions, I'm not going to show you purely because I don't want to show you what my team's doing. I'd rather keep that private. Contributions will show you like how many troops your team has and how much gold have they farmed and how many troops have they killed and all that stuff. It's really great. Top teams and top players is the same. It's a leaderboard, but for Atlas. So pretty basic. Settings. A lot of the settings are the same. One of the things I would recommend you do, which makes my life really easy, is show team colors, turn that off. So if we zoom out, you can see like it's pretty easy on the eyes, right? You can see like the different colors of land, which represent different elements, which we'll talk about lesson 2 or episode 2. But if I turn on team colors, look at this high color fuckery. It's chaos. So for me, it's really hard on my eyes. So in settings, I always turn off team colors so it looks much more natural and like land. So that's that. Rider missions. If you have a dragon rider, you can do these missions. Most of you, you will know if you can do higher level missions. Most of you can only do level 1. You can see for 1-star missions, I can do crafting scroll, egg tokens, or timers. So let's say I want to do egg token. I click that. It shows me all the things I have to do. Now in the mission details, it said, looters in the area are carrying a horde of egg tokens across the land. Dispatch your rider to destroy them and recover the egg tokens. It requires an earth type dragon rider. It takes 12 hours. I get a new mission in 7 minutes, and it requires combat level 1000 or higher, and it'll give me 75 egg tokens in return. So at the end of the night, I do my missions. I look for any earth elements, which I do not have, so I can't do this mission until I have a dragon rider that's on an earth element. Now, if you have a dragon rider that has no gear, it just assumes the element for missions of the rider or of the dragon it's on. So if I go to dark, you can see that I can use Osaka here, and I'll get 12 clocks, which are usually like 50-minute clocks or something dumb. So those are missions, which again are in the Atlas menu. And then Alliance we'll talk about on day 3, on episode 3. That's complicated. Something that I realized, and I'm really, really sorry I didn't mention this sooner. Troops. One of the biggest things I'm seeing in my basics chat is there is a quest to transfer troops. I have my Primark. It carries troops in a battle, whether on its back or in a little basket, whatever, it carries troops into battle. But let's say your Primark is full. Red, how do we know if our Primark is full? That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked. There are 2 ways you can find out. You can click your Primark. You can go to details. And it'll tell you how many troops it can carry. So you see at the top left where it says Sieger reduces enemy fort defenses. We'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow. It currently has 20,000 troops on it, and it can hold 46.4 thousand. Now, once it has max troops and you train your troops, it doesn't mean your troops will ever be lost. They go and they're safe in the barracks. Also, remember how we set our home earlier? If I finish my troops while my Primark is at home, so you remember I can finish my troops by either clocking them or just pushing claim when they're done. If my Primark is at home, it is safe, it is not doing anything, it is not preparing for battle, it is at home, my troops will immediately go onto my Primark for a lovely, lovely little ride because it's safe, they're preparing to launch, things like that. If your Primark is not at home, your troops go into the barracks to wait for your Primark to get home. So, my Primark is currently not at home. This is not my assigned home. I can also tell because in the upper left-hand side of my screen, you can see that home circle up there. My home is over there. It's not here. So since my Primark's not at home, my troops are only built at home. My troops, I mean, think about it. If you are like a fucking king or queen of your kingdom, or whatever you want to be for your kingdom, I guess. I don't know what the gender neutral term is for a king or a queen. The big ass bitch of your kingdom. Your troops are only trained there. They don't magically teleport places. So your troops have to wait at home for your Primark to come back and get them. So if your Primark's not at home, your troops stay in the barracks, waiting to be deployed and given to a Primark to go out into battle. But if your Primark's already at home, your troops immediately finish their training and jump onto your Primark. So if you're doing a quest or anything like that where you need to transfer troops from your barracks to your Primark, just make sure your Primark's not at home. To send them to the barracks, your Primark just doesn't or can't be at home, or your Primark needs to be full of troops already, and then they stay in the barracks because there's no more room in the little basket that your Primark's carrying away. So, I hope this was enough for you. I know this is a lot. This could be really complicated. Click around in Atlas, especially on all these buttons around the screen. Red is bad. avoid red circles. Do not go to red circles. Red circles are bad. Okay? Red is bad. Make sure your team knows that. Click around on icons though. Click around in the menu. Click around in, this is the event. Like just how in main game there's events. There's events in here. We talk about this again in episode 3. So we have events. I think it's going to be in episode 3. I don't fucking know. We might talk about it tomorrow. Who knows? There's events. You claim your rewards, things like that in here. So click around. The buttons are okay to click. Don't be afraid to click things and see what happens. Go through the settings, experiment, move around. But when you're moving around, say it with me now. Red is bad. I know I'm red. I'm wonderful. But red circles are bad. People don't want you on their castles. Stay the fuck off of other people's castles. And if you have a dipshit on your team that says, but I need glory to level up my Primark, say, hey, dipshit, go to no man's land so you don't piss anyone off. K. And your team will go, well, I don't know what no man's land is. I don't understand what you're saying to me. That's totally okay. If you go into my posters that I have for you here, look, I have land types. Do you see this? And it says, this is what fire zones look like. This is what ice zones look like. But look, no man's land is red. Oh, boy. Okay, so that's that. Please download these posters. If you want more, let me know. They are sorted pretty neatly. If you do want to share all of these posters with your team, totally welcome to, but I would highly recommend you post them not only online, but in albums. So if you don't know how to get to albums online, notes is 1 swipe and albums is 2. Make an album for each of these different categories I made. It'll really help your team be organized. So this is Atlas, Basics of Atlas, episode 1. I hope you remembered everything. If you have questions, make sure you come see me tomorrow. I'll be streaming Atlas Basics episode 2 sometime tomorrow morning, probably late morning. And I might even have mimosas because I didn't drink tonight and I kind of need some mimosas. So as usual, guys, it has been so much fun hanging out with you. I love streaming with you guys, and I forgot how much I love streaming with you. So share this link with your friends. This will go on YouTube later once it loads. It will be on my Twitch stream under videos. So make sure you share this with your team. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions as long as you've tried first. So if you need to get something done, well, I want to do this. This is what I've tried to do, but it still won't let me, and I can't figure out how to do this. Ask questions. There are a lot of great people out there that can help you with these basic things that have had this for such a long time. Don't be afraid. I'm here for you. Lots of people are here for you. We want you to love Atlas just as much as we do. So I will see you guys in probably about 12 to 14 hours, give or take. Probably have mimosas just for fun. I love you guys so much. I always do, and I can't wait to see you guys again tomorrow. So have a great night. Bye, guys.